A lady named Keanne says she wants to help me sue Mike Boudet. That would have helped a long time ago. I'm glad somebody fucking gives a shit. You know, that's the thing is that lady looked into Mike Boudet and bam, duh, Sean's telling the truth. That fucking simple. That fucking easy. As easy as taking a fucking look instead of taking my word for it. You can see that I was railroaded in court. You can see the things and hear in those people's own voices on my YouTube. You can hear from Rihanna, who's dead now. Right, she's dead. I can't go into law enforcement unless I am protected. That's before you take into account any of this shit with Natalie. If you just take into account the fact that I am not physically attractive, I don't have money. I do have to go in by myself because nobody does actually care. A lot of these people, they want to start their excuses beginning with a traumatic event for me. Like for me, after listening to all these people promise me over and over again, tell me that they care, that they want to help, while people are actually harming me. And the only thing that I can do to get anyone to look at the harm against me is to threaten people's lives who threaten mine? How fucking insane is that? How is it with all these people who said that they loved me? Not one of them could come forward about that. Not one. Obviously, it's true. I recorded that shit, but I recorded that 7 months or more after the fact. 8 months, sorry. No, it would have been November of 2018 because I wasn't released until November. August to November. That's right. 3 different facilities, being assaulted by police at each one, having my public pretenders not show up at any of them, being denied my right to the phone calls. You had to hear that from George, conversation me and him had on here. I've tried doing all this from the internet. I need help with it. It's not fucking working. I'm overwhelmed, and every time I try, it's fucking worse. Like, if someone cares, wouldn't they want to spend the time to teach me how to do something so I can do it myself instead of having to beg them? Please, you know how to do it? Show me. Teach me. Help me. Be a witness to the fact that I'm fucking trying. You'll see how badly those cops lied. You get to hear the conflicting stories, the words of the cops themselves to me versus the words of, well, people like Alyssa Rainwater and Mandy Hughes. They didn't want their personal business out there. That's the problem. They wanted to hide in the shadows. They wanted to hope that it would all just blow over. No. No, the fact that they didn't come forward about those things fucked me in court. Repeatedly over and over and over again. And then they want to pretend like I'm the bad guy because I said something. and that I'm the bad guy because I recorded them saying those things. If those things were fucking true, then why are you ashamed to have it? Why are you trying to destroy it on fucking YouTube? They did try to have it destroyed. Didn't work. I have to do desperate shit. It's not just Mike Boudet. It's everywhere I go. Mike Boudet just made it worse. Same with Rob Gavigan. Same with Jennifer Juzowski. Nobody cared to hear both sides. When I told my side, they stopped and pulled out the parts that they could use to try to make me look guilty. Both of those people, Josh, who took my interview for Mike Boudet, as well as Jennifer Dejowski, who also lives in California. Both of them were supposed to turn that into the police, and neither one of them were supposed to print it until they found Natalie's killer. While everybody else was sure it was me, I was sure her real killer was going to get busted. Somebody was going to come forward. But they were too busy trying to paint me as a bad guy, trying to break my arm, lying to me over and over and over again. And that's why they didn't want those body cameras coming out. It shows how many times those fucking cops lied to me. My telephone from then, it showed what was going on, but guess what? No matter where I went, the cops didn't give a fuck. They didn't want that fucking phone. They didn't want anything I had to fucking show, nothing that I had to say. They just wanted to hurt me. And that's what they did. And that is what they have continued to do. And yeah, I've had to deal with a lot of fucking manipulators. Like Miss Lanny Engeline and her daughter. Yeah, they pretty much, that's what they know how to do. The less men are in a woman's life, it seems the more they manipulate men in their lives. It's fucking twisted. Lana's a man hater, but she likes penis. It's difficult for her to accept that now that she's no longer young and skinny, yeah, people aren't going to tolerate that. When you're young and pretty, you can get away with whatever you want. I mean, so many of the women that I know they're decent folks, decent enough. Some of the shit they did in their youth makes every man that I know look like a fucking saint. Some of the things that women admitted to doing in their youth really does make Ted Bollinger look. Well, no, Ted Bollinger's still an evil son of a bitch. Seriously, how can you rape your own fucking daughter? How can you get her strung out on drugs? How can you have your own 13-year-old daughter selling drugs to homeless people in Boulder, Colorado? And sure, it wasn't just homeless people. But you guys seem to have a lot of hatred towards the homeless, like they're the terrible wretch of the earth. Who was it that sent those girls down there to be among the homeless? People didn't want to come forward for whatever reason, but the fact is they were all excuses. These people in all of this time couldn't find any time to keep their fucking word. All of them, all of them made these empty promises. Every fucking one of them. I mean, you should see the fucking text messages. I tell people off. You got no idea. I am a foul mouthed son of a bitch. For damn sure. That's the thing. I am not heard unless I'm cursing. That's fucking stupid. If I'm not cursing, I get blown off. Excuse me, I'm trying to show you abuse in person. I've tried it over the internet. I've tried it over the phone. I go to YouTube and Facebook with everything for a fucking reason. At least it shows I'm fucking trying. It shows I was trying to get help from the fucking start. It shows that people were fucking bullshitting me and lying to me and manipulating like a motherfucker. It shows that my predators were listened to and I wasn't. Miss Peaches didn't listen to me. She listened to the people who were threatening to kill me. And you don't think that's going to fucking piss me off? I shouldn't have had to fucking record that shit and put it on the fucking internet. If these were good people, they would have written it down and showed the fuck up in court. If these were good people, they would have gone with me to make those police reports. Instead, I got abused every time I went in to make a fucking police report. It's fucking stupid. Like that person who's fucking harassing me, the fucking restricted number over and fucking over and over and over again. It's not just one person, it's a lot of people. The cops won't do anything. They won't do anything. They won't do anything. There's all of these things that they're supposed to be able to do, and they say they can't do it for me. They can't. They can't. But then they do these things for my fucking predators. What Mandy Hughes and Alyssa Rainwater did was predatory. It was predatory. They pretended for months and months and months on end, especially Mandy, because Alyssa Rainwater didn't get involved with me until I was already in jail. And she does get a free pass for that. In order for me to take these son of a bitches to court, I need people to write statements. Brandon has said repeatedly that he went to the cops. Erin Cockerham said she went to the cops. Cara Rogers said she went to the cops. All these people who said they went to the cops, but none of them can tell me even the name of the officer they talked to. Shannon Alvarado can. Shannon Alvarado can tell you the names of some of the cops she talked to. She had difficulties remembering them. It's difficult when you're drunk. I get it. But she did actually go back to find the names of some of the officers that she talked to. And that's in my paperwork. The problem is I've been through my paperwork repeatedly. I've attempted repeatedly to make copies of it. I've made fucking electronic copies of fucking everything and had everything fucking stolen repeatedly. The only saving grace is that I can prove it. It's all on fucking YouTube. The theft of my bag, Officer Schneider being a douche, leaving, not doing a goddamn thing about it. Then I call to turn in Officer Schneider, and it's Officer Schneider that they have me talk to. And then later on, when more of those police are harassing me at fucking Starbucks, I got proof that multiple people there at Starbucks were not happy about that situation. It's recorded here on fucking YouTube. I recorded my adventures. I recorded how the mentally ill are treated, how the homeless are treated, how males are treated. Do any of you honestly believe that I would have gone this long without help if I'd have had a cute face and perky boobs? Fuck no. Shit, if I had a cute face and perky boobs, all I'd have to do is say, he molested me. The most fucked up part here is that Natalie never said those things about me. She never claimed that I molested her. She never claimed that I raped her. Neither did Alicia. It was everybody else who was doing it. To this day, people harm me physically because they think I'm some sort of fucking chimo who stuck his dick in Alicia Bollinger when she was 13. Uh-uh. My dick has never gone in that woman. She has never seen it. This abuse is over that slander. All of it. Ted Bollinger going into court. Joseph Michael Lopez court date. I had to get something going legally. Jane Beebe was not helping and not understanding. She was telling me all the things that I needed to do, but not helping me get the resources to do them. I was doing the best I could with what I got. She even suggested I should just stay in Nebraska instead of going to court. A lot of people did that. A lot of people are like, you should just flee state. You should just run away, Sean. You should just run away. You should move to somewhere else. People like Shannon Alvarado were trying to get me to move there. Well, look how that ended up. Before Natalie died, I didn't know Shannon Alvarado existed. Before I went there, I didn't know about her fucking Chucky dolls in her Nazi uniform. There was a lot of times where I was in a shitty situation and I was still on a Facebook ban. I couldn't reach anybody because the only thing that I had was Facebook. And there was a lot of people whose phone numbers that I had on those phones that were stolen, and on that computers that were stolen. The police in Natalie's case stole my computer and never gave it back. I let them have it so they could use it to try to find Natalie's killer. The officer in that case, one of them, Jai Rogers, told me they would bring it to me the next day, even if I was in Boulder. They just had to make a copy of the hard drive. And guess what? They never did it. I went to where they asked me to go, where the officers in Natalie's case asked me to go. And I tried to get the information in specific that they were asking me for. Problem is that Boulder police kept getting in the way and they kept telling me that it was Broomfield Police Department. Broomfield Police Department. I've had sex my whole life only 2 times. One with Brianna Hernandez Cordona. That's the girl I lost my virginity to. And then there was Brad Ingersoll. I didn't want to have sex with either one of them. I'm sorry, I'm going to sleep. I got an eye booger, so it's messing with me. There's a lot of slander up there, ma'am, and I can show that it's all wrong. The problem is that I can't function. All of the stuff that I needed in order to be able to defend myself was immediately taken away from me when Natalie disappeared. Uh, Fuck, I should get a mirror. That'd make it a lot easier. And it'd be a lot easier if I washed my hands too. I got nail polish remover. It works pretty good, but it gets cold. A lot of times I'll use it for cooling stuff down. Like if I need to get a mold to separate from something, then you can use nail polish remover. It changes the temperature of the material, and it, as a result, barely changes size, but it changes size enough that it's easier to take apart. Shannon Alvarado has some information about Mike Boudet. That lady, Cara Rogers, she was warning me about him. There was also a lot of people who were posing as news agencies that were fucking nut jobs, and there's all these Natalie Bollinger groups and all the stuff that they were doing. Anybody who defended me, they kicked out. A lot of these people that threw me away, they told me that their lives were being threatened. And when I said something, well, I'm the bad guy. Were your lives really being threatened? That's a good question to ask them. Going after Mike Boudet is a good idea, but he's just going to try to use my previous court dates to pretend like I'm the bad guy. Holy shit. That's a civil case. So I can show everything. Anything that he tries to use as an excuse, I can show the fucking bullshit, right? Fuck yeah. Mike Boudet's a good fucking start. A good start. It's sad that these officers were able to use their positions of power in order to do the things they did and get away with them. I told you what would happen, and that's what happened. There's a possibility that the statute of limitations for going after Mike Boudet is over. The problem is that that's not my fault. None of that is my fault. None of the harm that I was taking was my fault. I had mental breakdowns from mass quantities of abuse from all fucking sides. It's not that I didn't try to get help. You guys can see that I tried to get help. That's not what they said in court, though. The police lied in court every fucking step of the way. If they'd have done their fucking jobs and investigated the crimes against me and talked to these fucking witnesses, things might have been a little bit fucking, oh yeah, they would have been a lot fucking different. Ted Bollinger would have been behind bars pretty much immediately. Alicia Bollinger would be behind fucking bars, getting sober. What Candace did is a felony, and she knows it. She's scared fucking shitless of getting her kids taken away if she goes to prison. But also, given the situation, I'm pretty sure that a jury would fucking forgive her. I'm pretty sure a jury would go, yeah, you're in a small town. All this fucking shit's going on. You're trying to help a friend and you're getting threatened with being thrown out in the snow and the cops are fucking harassing you. Yeah, Candace, we understand why you committed a felony to keep your fucking family safe. That doesn't detract from the fact that it's a felony. Then you look at the fucked up shit that she did to try to hide what she was doing. Now I was able to show that shit. I was able to show that shit to Cara Mia, aka Cara Rogers. See, I didn't have the technical knowledge or abilities to collect the evidence myself at the time. I had to ask other people for help. But then later on, when those people fucking threw tantrums and did evil fucking shit, that ain't my goddamn fault. Don't take it out on me that you're now afraid of the fucking cops. See, a lot of folks wanted to claim that I was slandering people's names. And since then, I've gotten all the witnesses and all of their fucking information and fucking statements and Facebook Messenger all together and her phone calls. There's enough there to prove that all of this is fucking bullshit. It's enough to prove that, yeah, if I had the ability to sue any of these people, it would have never fucking gotten this far. If I'd have had help in person. But people procrastinated and procrastinated the whole time I'm being fucking abused. And then when I have to do desperate shit, then they use that as an excuse. Well, yeah, I didn't help you because fucking you had a fucking panic attack. Yeah, I had a fucking panic attack. All that abuse that I'm taking, and you don't care. You're not there to see it, so it's fine. You're not having to live through it, so it's fine. You say you're afraid for you and your family. You have your family there to protect you inside of a house. You have a gun. Most of you bragged the whole time. You wanted to tell me what a badass you were. And if somebody came through, you'd fucking shoot them. You'd fucking shoot them. I didn't want to hear that shit. You know how much fucking traumatic bullshit I had been through already by that point? I don't want to hear you talking about fucking killing people. Yeah, what Mike Boudet did made it a lot worse. Matter of fact, I'm sorry it's so long. I got links in here on my YouTube. They're attached to some of the stories I tell. That it's the proof those stories are true. All of it, not just the Mike Boudet stuff. If you look on Mike Boudet's page, you can see. Yeah, I started typing. He got rid of some of it and left up the parts where I was an asshole. Isn't that sweet of him? You can see Natalie's conversations between Tim Beeson and Natalie. But I posted up the ones between myself and Natalie at that point in time. I also was posting up the shit with Tim Beeson that everybody wanted to pretend was fake and bullshit and a lie because they wouldn't look at it. Jesus Christ. You know what? If one of you fucking lazy ass Christians gets off your lazy ass and actually fucking helps how I need, I'll go to church with you. You prove to me that your God isn't just fucking words. Yeah. Going after Mike Boudet, I am totally down with that. I got a lot of paperwork and stuff. I have around $1,500 left to invest entirely because I've got this 6x6 or 5x5 box rented out for 6 months. So I'm not entirely homeless. There's no toilet, there's no fucking shower, there's no running water, nothing like that. But it's warm. I can survive a winter in here. I got some plastic wrap for putting around the outside of it, and that'll keep it from getting wet in here anymore. I want to keep my electronics safe. Also, I got permission to, as long as it's not permanent, extend this off a little bit because we got a bunch of trash in his yard that was left over from the previous tenant, and we've been cleaning up his yard over the entire last year. Like we have done so much in his yard. It looks so much better than it did, but it still looks like trash. Plus, after he and his ex had that issue, and I thought she was going to create a bunch of issues for me, I basically stayed away from here for about a month. And when I came back, the wind had blown over all my bags of recyclables. I'd recycled bottles into one set of bags, and I had recycled uh, aluminum cans into another set of bags. And I'm sorry, I went all OCD there. Like I said, I'm pretty tired. I've been up all night. I'm trying to calm down. I turned off my phone because, like, how am I supposed to get anything done with that happening? When I'm overwhelmed, little shit like that is very overwhelming for me. It's not a fucking choice. And yes, if I had marijuana and I wanted to smoke some marijuana, then that would help. It wouldn't help me speak, though. It would help me to have tunnel vision on what I'm talking about. And a lot of people, like when I'm really stoned, they're like, "Man, why don't you talk like this all the time? Why aren't you like this all the time? Like people want to listen to you." I'm like, "Fuck, people only want to listen to me when I'm stoned. That's fucking stupid." Of course, my brain is going far too fast when I'm sober for you guys to understand. And then there's the connection of my mouth. My brain goes way too fast. If I had four mouths, all of them would speak at the same time, and they would all say something different. Sometimes they'd all be talking about different subjects. Before all this stuff with Natalie, I was focused on designing and building things to make the world a better place. And ever since this stuff with Natalie, I just needed an end to the violence, an end to the threats, an end to the cruelty. To this day, Alicia Bollinger has not accused me of any of those things. Her father did. When I typed to Maddie Boa about it, Maddie said that what was it she typed? It's not her fault that think people saw things the way she did. That's bullshit. You went and sold a fucking narrative that wasn't true. Maddie Boa is a lesbian though. She got a big ass crush on both the Bollinger twins, and she had sex with Alicia. She wanted the set. Isn't that weird to hear? Like, I know a lot of lesbians like to tell me about how horrible men are and about how they're only about one thing and about how they're all superficial. And then, uh, most of them end up being like Maddie Boa. They covet women and then complain that men covet women. That's fucking nutty. And a lot of these women they're not just lesbians, they're also drug addicts. That does often come with trauma. That's not to say that all lesbians had to go through trauma. And that's not to say that trauma makes you a lesbian. I know a lot of women who call themselves lesbians, but they're not actually into women at all. They just don't like men. They've been through enough shit because of men that they hate men. Now, I'd like to find some of the stuff that's on here. I'll have to go through it, but I've got between 4 and 6,000 paper documents, I believe, at this point. I also have um, the words of other victims, hundreds of them. Victims of Clearview, victims of Wayland Lolatai. Yeah, that's right. Myself and Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, myself and Michelle Rodriguez. You know, with Darren O'Connor, all these people wanted to suggest Darren O'Connor. By that point, Darren O'Connor had already set all of his seeds into the we're gonna play the race card and we're gonna focus on that and we're gonna ignore everything with Sean. All of these people could have spoken out, every one of them. They chose not to. They chose to allow the violence to continue. Darren O'Connor, even. Damn. Now, there's a lot of people that they got pissed off because I got to let them eat their words. Little Jason Jepson. I'm actually surprised he didn't blow his head off after I put a link into that YouTube. He wanted to slander me on one of these Sean Schwartz hate groups that's on YouTube, and somebody sent me the link, and I went, "Oh wow, I know that motherfucker. That's little Jason. His wife was fucking 8.5 months pregnant, and he tried to fucking kill her. He was shooting at her. Her name's it was Ashley Olsen. I think it's Ashley Bauer now. Y'all remember that bully I was telling you about? Dylan Bauer from high school, the one who turned out to be a decent person. Yeah, he was there for a lot of these situations too. Strangely, when I lost that phone full of evidence months after those police should have done something about it, months after those police should have looked at what's on that phone, and they just didn't give a shit. And Dylan Bauer was going to stop and help me. He was going to try to help me find that telephone. It was nice of him. Nobody else did. None of the people who said they loved me here did. All of this slander started with the Bollinger family, and the Bollinger family has been able to manipulate this situation to go on vacation. Ted Bollinger was on vacation in Boston only 1 month after his daughter was fucking killed. On vacation. I was being victimized as if I were a child molester and a rapist and a drug addict who shouldn't be allowed to have firearms. Meanwhile, here's Ted Bollinger, a rapist who likes to beat on women. He's addicted to fucking drugs, has his daughter selling drugs, fucks his own daughters. Isn't allowed to carry a firearm, but he's got one anyway. The media tried to paint me as Ted Bollinger, and I wasn't going to have it. I'm still not going to have it. Everything that I've gone through in the last 4 years, that's Ted's. That's Ted's punishment, not mine. Ted Bollinger did those things. Tim Beeson did those things. See, the only way I'm going to get an honest day in court is if I'm able to get Alicia, get her on the stand, and ask her the question, did I ever rape or molest you, Alicia? Alicia. Alicia, hello? Yeah, she's not going to watch this. That's the thing that's so funny about all these people saying you're harassing Alicia. Fuck yes. Fuck yes, I do. Tell the truth. There are too many dead bodies already. There are too many innocent people who are already fucking dead. If your dad kills you, I'm the one they're gonna fucking look at first. If your dad kills Danica, I'm the one they're gonna look at first. If your dad kills your mom, same thing. If your dad gets fucked up and decides he's gonna fuck your little sister and then kill her, people are gonna pretend that I did it. Your dad fucking molested you, Alicia Michelle Bollinger. And I'm the one who gets treated like I'm the child molester. Your predator called me a child molester in fucking court. And yet here we are, years later, not one victim has come forward. Where are my supposed victims if I'm some sort of chimo? I fucking rescue people from them son of a bitches, not the other way around. I don't remember what I was going to look up on here, but at least I don't know, I had some stuff I wanted to address, and I'm sorry I went off on those other topics. So I don't get much sleep. I miss my loved ones, and they just don't seem to care. Like they didn't care that the difference between me going through this and me having a decent life was them coming forward. They don't comprehend that the difference between Elijah McClain being alive today and him not being alive was whether or not my friends came forward. Whether or not Waylon Lolatai was allowed to assault 6 more people after me in 2018 all came down to whether or not these people kept their word and came forward. Dmitry Shankling was killed by 2 of the officers who took part in the assault that George talks about. I think I'm going to try to find that right quick. We'll type George, Georg. Copy link address. This one is called George, witness to assault and harassment, teasing, hazing by the guards at Boulder County Jail. This is his words. I'll put them right here for you. He says the name of one of the officers, the one that was trying to fucking tear my head off. He took his fingers underneath my jawline here, and I was already in the chair. And by the way, I actually did slip out of the chair. I talk about that in this little bit. But the thing is that there was witnesses to all of that. I have written statements from other inmates. A lot of the stuff that I was able to get, they threw away. The officers, they didn't fucking care. Any excuse is a good excuse. These guys have a position that allows them to harm anybody that they want at any point in time. And you see that they go after the same people that the police go after. The guards go after the ones that are homeless or the ones that are mentally ill or called mentally ill. There was a couple other guys in there that I was locked up with that were not crazy, but they were not liked by the police, not liked by the guards. Ted Bollinger belongs in prison for the rest of his life, and Alicia Bollinger, there's Demetrius Shankling would be alive if what those officers did to me in the Boulder County Jail somebody had done something about. But no, where was I when Demetrius Shankling was killed? Arapahoe County Jail. They made fun of me, told me that I could take care of it when I got out, and then they transferred me out of county. I wasn't even there on a Boulder warrant. They sent me there so those guards could hurt me. That is their specific intent in doing that. They wanted to give those guards the chance to hurt me. And those guards did. Clinton talks about that. There's a lot of these. If you type a list of Rainwater's name in here, you'll see different ones. You'll read a set before and after. Uh, this one's 36 minutes long, but it's mostly just me talking. I wouldn't recommend watching it because it's just me. It's me telling the story and explaining shit, but the ones that are the most important are the ones that are from other people. Oh, God, I remember now. There's one called Four Peaches the Liar. Right here. Copy link address. This one right here has at least 115 or more links to conversations. All of them are conversations. Every one of them. Every single one is a conversation with someone who's a witness, and there are hundreds more. There are a lot of them that I can't post them on YouTube because they will get my YouTube destroyed. I can't post them up. There's that much personal shit in them. And then there's some other ones where the victims are, well, they're more likely to be at risk if I say something out loud. Their predators are more likely to take steps to ensure that they are not harmed. They'll be allowed to do what the police did. When I went to Scott DaCosta, he and his officers, the first thing they did was start covering up their crimes and coming up with an excuse. See, it's not that the shit that the Bollingers or any of their cronies did was legal. It's not legal. It's a matter of nobody cared. They had already been sold a narrative and they were sold on it. But you see my tenacity. It's been 4 years of thumbs down videos, 4 years of people threatening to kill me, 4 years of harassment and assault, 4 years of police doing everything in their fucking power, including trying to lock me up as a nut job and have me injected with drugs for turning them in. Oh, hell yes. Anyway, I wasn't kidding about the Jesus thing. If someone comes here in person to help me out in person where I fucking need it, yeah, I'll go to church with you. If you're Jewish, I'll go to the synagogue. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, I'll go to the temple with you. If you're Muslim, well, I'll go with you too. Shit, if you're with the Church of Satan, I'll go. I don't have to believe your religion to go, and I can respect your religion as long as you respect my beliefs. If you can't respect my beliefs, then that's where it'll end. But I'll go. I really hope it's a Muslim who helps me, though. I don't know nearly enough about their culture, and I know that a lot of the people who've been the best to me in my life have been Muslims.